For this entire course, the model has worked in a single shot. You ask, it thinks once, it answers, and it stops. Back in episode 12, we gave it one new power, the ability to call a tool, but even that was a single step. Ask, it calls one tool, you hand back the result, it replies, done. That is useful, but it is not an agent. A real task is almost never one step. Book me a flight is not one action, it is search, compare, check a date, look again, decide. So the question for this whole part of the series is simple. What happens when you stop letting the model answer once and instead drop it into a loop where it can act, see what happened, and act again over and over until the job is truly finished? That single change is what turns a model into an agent. Quick note before we dig in. If you find this useful, subscribe and drop a topic you want explained in the comments. Now, let us get into it. Here is the whole idea in one sentence. An AI agent is a language model placed inside a loop where it repeatedly reasons about the goal, takes an action such as calling a tool, observes the result, and then decides its next step, continuing until the task is complete. Read that again because the magic word is loop. Function calling was a straight line. An agent is a circle that keeps turning until the goal is met. Let me show you the 4 beats that make up one turn of that circle. The first beat is thought. The model looks at the goal and the situation so far and reasons about what to do next. Not the final answer yet, just the next move. The second beat is action. Based on that thinking, it picks one tool and the exact inputs to use, the same structured tool call we learned in function calling. The third beat is observation. Your code runs that tool for real and feeds the result back to the model, the search results, the database row, the error message, whatever actually came back. And the fourth beat is the decision. The model reads that observation and asks itself one question. Am I done? If yes, it writes the final answer and the loop ends. If no, it loops, taking everything it has learned so far and starting a fresh thought for the next step. That loop, think, act, observe, repeat, is the entire heart of an agent. Everything else is detail. And notice what it gives the model that a single shot never could. Memory of its own progress and the ability to react to reality instead of guessing. A one-shot model has to get everything right in one breath. An agent gets to try something, see that it failed, and adjust, exactly the way a person works through a problem they have never seen before. Let me make it concrete with a real task. Suppose you ask an agent, find me the 3 top-rated Italian restaurants near the office that are open right now, and put them in a table. A one-shot model would just hallucinate a confident list because it cannot actually check. Watch the agent instead. Thought, I need the office location first. Action, it calls a tool to look up the address. Observation, it gets the address back. Thought, now I need nearby Italian restaurants. Action, it calls a maps tool with that location. Observation, it gets a list of 12. Thought, I need to filter to open now and sort by rating. Action, maybe it calls hours tool, or filters the data it already has. Observation, 3 qualify. Thought, I have everything I need. And only now does it write the final table. 5 or 6 turns of the loop, each one grounded in something real that came back, instead of one confident guess. Now, 2 honest cautions, because an agent in a loop is powerful and a little dangerous. The first is that loops can run away. If the model never decides it is done, it can spin forever, burning time and money, so every real agent has a stop, usually a maximum number of steps. The second is that errors compound. A wrong turn early can send the agent down a useless path, chasing its own mistake. The whole next stretch of this series, React, Better Tools, Frameworks, is largely about making this loop more reliable, so the agent reasons clearly, recovers from failures, and knows when to quit. The loop is the engine. Everything after this is tuning that engine. So how does this land depending on who you are? As an individual, you have already felt it, even if you did not have the word. When an assistant browses several pages, runs some code, looks at the output, fixes its own bug, and then gives you a working answer. That is the loop turning in front of you, not one reply, but many quiet steps. As a startup, the loop is what lets you ship a feature that does a job rather than just chats about it. Give the model a goal and a handful of your own tools, and let it work the steps to completion, instead of you hard-coding every branch by hand. And as a large enterprise, the loop is exactly where governance matters most, because an agent that can take many actions on its own needs guardrails, step limits, permissions, and logging at every turn. So autonomy never outruns control. We come back to those guardrails near the end of the course, and they matter precisely because the loop is so capable. So let us bring it home. Function calling was a single heartbeat. Ask, call one tool, answer. An agent is that heartbeat repeated, a loop of thought, action, observation, and decision, turning over and over until the goal is genuinely met. That loop is what gives a model memory of its own progress and the power to react to reality instead of guessing once. But I have been a little vague about that first beat, the thinking. How exactly should an agent reason between its actions so it stays on track and does not wander off chasing a mistake? It turns out there is a specific famous pattern for interleaving reasoning and acting, one that came straight out of a research paper and quietly became the default way agents work. It is called REACT, and it is where we go next. That is the core of it. If this helped, hit like and subscribe, ring the bell for the next deep dive, and tell me in the comments what you want broken down next. Thanks for watching.